Welcome to another episode of DIGOSEC Presents. Today we are at the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Vaughn campus, where 5 of our graduates lecture. Today we'll just meet one of them, Dr. Myrna Ransome. Dr. Ransom, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Tell me about your journey since leaving DIGOSEC.
Oh, it's a long one, you know. When I left with a full certificate, and while I was in Form 5, I had applied to Moscow Teachers College to get in because they were residential. So they had an exam. I passed the exam, but I didn't get in after the interview for whatever reason. So by the time I left school, I applied for a job, and because my father was kind of thing with money, so I got called as a clerk in the Ministry of Education, Clerk 1, and I took the clerk exam and I placed in the first 10. So I was doing accounts clerk. That was what I was. So they were trying to get me to be an accountant, but then that takes money and whatever. So I decided I would apply to teach. So I registered as a teacher and I applied and they called me for the interview and I placed first in the interview. So I went over to teaching Lambertville Girls Government. Right? 3 years after, I was called to go to Government Teachers College. And I went there, I passed the exam, and then I applied for an OAS scholarship to study home economics. And I got it. So I studied home economics. And then I was placed in secondary school. And then I was called, the Sheffield University was here with special education. So I knew some of my teachers who were teaching there, and they said, you come and do the masters. Well, in between there, I had a lot of credit, so I went to CUC. And I did a behavioral science degree because I had half of the credits already. So I did the rest of credits and I got a BSc in behavioral sciences. I majored in psychology, sociology, and I minored in home ec. Okay? And then I did the masters. Okay? In between there I did a technical vocational teacher training. John Lee, they called me to do that. Before I did the masters in special ed, I had done an advanced diploma. That was the beginning. And then my teachers had gone abroad, and so the University of Virginia Tech called me to say they were interested in because I had such a good career and giving me a scholarship to do a PhD. So they contacted me and so on, and I sent all the things they needed, and they gave me an interview over the phone, and then they told me I was in. I got the scholarship. So I went there and I studied educational research, evaluation, and applied statistics. Okay? When I left, I came back. I went back to my substantive post because I taught at Toko Composite for 6 years before I left. And I was transferred to Eldo just before I left. And I resumed duty at El Dorado Secondary. And I taught there for about 2 or 3 years when I came back. And then I applied because the ministry gave you leave, whatever, so you're really supposed to improve the system and all that. So then I applied to UTT and I was interviewed and I was called as an assistant professor, which I still am.
Tell me, when you entered DIGOSEC, was there a sense of, I can do anything I set my mind to do?
Of course, because I was one of the top students in my primary school and my friends were there, so I knew I was going to succeed and do well.
So it wasn't. You said you were one of the top students in primary school.
Yeah.
Was there another school you would have preferred to go to before entering DIGOSEC?
No, that was my first choice.
DIGOSEC was your first choice.
Because I knew people there.
What made DIGOSEC so special?
Because they paid a lot of attention to you. And then you did a lot of things, like I ran track and I played netball and we did different fun things. And I had a good memory, so I remember things, so I did all right in school.
Okay, great. When you were younger, did you see yourself becoming an educator?
Well, becoming something, not necessarily an educator. When I was in high school, my cousin was already in the vet school. And my other cousin became an MD. Okay, she went to medical school. So I know all the books are there, everybody's around, so you will be something, you know. And I like to read, and I remember, as I told you, I had a good memory, so I remember things.
So what was it about teaching? Because after you had your job as the Clark one, you decided to go and teach. Why not pursue something else?
Because teaching paid for everything. I got scholarships for everything. I didn't have money. Well, that's how it started out. That they would pay for everything and then you would serve. So that's why the United States had asked me to work there, but I had to come back because they paid for everything.
All right.
You understand?
Okay.
So through education, you get a lot of things paid. You know? The accounting, you would have had to find your own money.
Okay. What are your duties? Okay, what courses do you lecture, and what are your other duties at the university here?
Okay, well, as I told you, I am the program leader for the research. Okay? So that I teach things like intro research methods, I teach research methods in special education, action research, I have the language department and whatever department, whatever research component they are doing. Okay? And I have to do my own research and publish. I teach math, teaching mathematics to students with mild to moderate exceptionalities, which is 3/4 of the population. It's intended in the SPED department, well, it's now called SPED and primary, to help those who are weak, but you find that the methodology, you have to give everybody the methodology. I teach practicum, I go out and supervise students, year 1, year 2, year 3, a combination or some of that. I teach classroom-based assessment. I teach in the master's program, I teach evaluation and assessment in the technology education degree, master's degree. Okay? I am in charge of organizing the journal, the research journal, and looking after, with Dr. Mahavir, the research committee. Okay? Those are some of the things I can remember.
During your course of lecturing here at UTT, have you met in your classes any DIGOSEC students?
Yeah, there were 1 or 2 younger ones, yes.
And how were they compared to when you were in DIGOSEC? Were they same caliber of students?
Well, I don't know how to compare it, but they were happy that you were there and they aspired to think that they will come here, you know, and then we encourage them and tell them how it is, you know, it's not something that's that difficult, you understand? And encourage them to read more and that kind of thing, because when you leave a secondary school and you come to a university, it's a different kind of thing. Sometimes we get through those basis exams because we okay and whatever, but really it's a change when you come to a university. You have to read for your degree, you have to, you know, be a little more conscious of what learning is about. It's not about exams, it's about knowing, it's about life, it's about relating it to real life situations and that kind of thing. I always have to refocus them on the purpose of education, you know. It's not about just getting qualifications and saying I have this or I have that. You have to know something. You have to help. There was always volunteering when we were growing up. You know, you help people on the street. You help people. I know that every time you would take money from your cash fund to help somebody, all the studies that I have done, it has been that you know, it came on gradually. I never sat and said, look, I need to get a PhD in 2 years' time and I have to get it at all costs and I'm going to UWI and leave my class behind and that kind of thing. It was never like that. Teaching is a kind of incarceration, it is. You have to be there all the time. You have to be there. And you just continue to do it and everything worked out. You understand? I think they sent me to Togo after 1 scholarship. I just went. You understand? Whatever. Even now at the university, I work in many different places. You just go, you understand? Rain, shine, whatever. We walk the Celebra Bridge to go to Togo. They were repairing the bridge and the plank was like that. And you stop here with one set of transport and you walk that thin bridge and anything and you go. You understand? You know, so I think we get kind of materialistic and kind of everybody talk about, I have my masters, it's not yours. You have to get something to share to the world, you know. And that is what really makes it important.
What keeps you going? Because something like that seems excessive.
Yeah, I always did a lot. I think it's important so that always help you to do a lot. And I don't sleep. I never slept a lot.
Okay.
You understand? So I can do a lot. I can go for a number of hours. I was telling them today that in the university, and the university was pretty nice. They took good care of you, Virginia Tech. So you had everything and whatever. And we just kept going. If somebody came to town and had a show, we went to the show and then we came back to the lab to work. And we kept working. You might go home for a few hours and you showered and you came back and you worked again. And I really like that. I really intended to be a researcher, you know, to do research with novel people and all kinds of things and bring back the results to help the world. That's my ideal job. But Trinidad, they have to teach and they have to think. Well, they want me to do quantitative research only, but in third world countries they have to do everything. So I also did a lot of qualitative research. Right? So I have the energy to keep going. I'm getting old now, so I'm looking at my demise and you know, it's time I'm almost in the corridors of, you know, departure launch.
Simon. All right, Dr. Ransom, thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'm going